Have you ever just wished the world around you could, I don't know, help out a little? Not with some big, clunky robot, but with the familiar things you use every single day? Well, we're about to dive into a fascinating idea where everyday objects get a life of their own, becoming these silent, proactive assistants. To really get what this is all about, we need to start with a moment I think we've all had. A moment of, that minor, everyday panic that always seems to happen right in the kitchen. Okay, so picture this. You've got your oven mitts on, you're holding this super heavy baking sheet, you can feel the heat radiating off it, you can smell whatever amazing thing you just cooked. You turn around, ready to put it down. And there's just no space. The stovetop is full, the counter's got ingredients all over it, and you're just standing there holding this incredibly hot pan, doing that awkward little shuffle. So, what's your next move? All right, now let's just replay that whole scene, but this time something a little different happens. Something that honestly feels kind of like magic. So, just as you turn from the oven, you see two trivets just slide across the counter, positioning themselves perfectly side by side to create a safe, heat-proof spot. And you just put the pan down. No hesitation, no second thought. The problem just solved itself before you even really registered there was one. Now, as cool as that sounds, it's not a scene from some fantasy movie. It's actually the core idea behind some incredible new research from Carnegie Mellon University, and it's giving us a real glimpse into the future of physical, unobtrusive AI. So how in the world does your kitchen suddenly know what you need? Let's pull back the curtain because the way it works is actually pretty elegant. The researchers call these things object agents. And the key idea here, the really important part, isn't adding a bunch of new, unfamiliar robots to our homes. Instead, it's about giving the objects we already own and understand, things like trivets or bowls or even staplers, the ability to move and think for themselves. The whole system is powered by this classic AI framework, a really simple but powerful three-step loop that's just constantly running in the background. It perceives, it reasons, and it acts. Let's break that down real quick. Okay, so first up is perceive. There's a camera, maybe mounted on the ceiling, and it's just observing the room. But it's not just recording video. It's using AI to describe what's happening in words, creating this simple, text-based commentary of your actions in real time. Next is reason. This is where the brain of the operation kicks in. The system takes that text, like user is wearing oven gloves, user is removing a hot pan, and it figures out your goal. It's not just seeing actions, it's predicting your intent. Okay, the user needs to safely put this hot thing down. And finally, we get to act. Once the system has figured out your goal, it decides what the most helpful action would be, and it sends a command to the right object agents. In our case, that's trivet 1, trivet 2, move to these exact coordinates, now. And that's it. That's the full loop. From the moment you take a pan out of the oven to the trivets gliding right into place, it's this seamless cycle of observation, understanding, and then physical assistance. But this technology is so much bigger than just making cooking a little bit easier. It really points to a future where your entire environment is an active participant in helping you out. For instance, think about safety. Imagine you're tired, you lean against the kitchen counter without looking, and you don't realize you left a sharp knife right there. The system sees you leaning in and just proactively slides the knife a few inches away, preventing an accident before it even has a chance to happen. And I mean, the possibilities just extend into every part of our lives, right? You sit at your desk, you start gathering a stack of papers, and the stapler just glides over to you. You're fumbling with your laptop, trying to find the right adapter, and it just wiggles its way out from a pile of cables. It's all about removing those tiny little moments of friction that add up all day long and just making everything smoother. So all of this leads to a really profound idea about how we think about technology. What's the ultimate goal here? What's the point of all this? Well, the point isn't to create more gadgets that we have to learn and manage and charge. It's to weave intelligence so deeply into the fabric of our world that it becomes invisible, just enhancing the objects we're already totally comfortable with. It really brings to mind the words of Mark Weiser, who is a true pioneer in this kind of thinking. He said the most profound technologies are those that disappear. The best technology doesn't demand our attention. It just works, fading into the background of our lives to help us out. So let's just end on this thought. Forget all the sci-fi robots and the flashy interfaces for a second. What if the next huge leap in technology is one we don't even really notice? One way the world around us simply becomes a more helpful, more intuitive, and safer place to be. What would that world actually feel like?